Welcome, Saratoga. Um, Good morning to everyone. Today's program has some exciting information and some less than good information, but at least it's data, right? So let me start off with the current COVID situation, right? In the United States, we still represent a third of the world's cases and a very, very large number of deaths. Not a third. California, unfortunately, California continues to grow, and locally here in Santa Clara County, the most recent data here from the public health dashboard, 32 new cases yesterday and 1 death. And so I want to try and give a little context on 32. So the state has a guideline of what we would take to move from phase 1 opening, which we're just at the very beginning of right now, to sort of a phase 2, more general and broad opening. So the state criteria would be 1 new case per 10,000 every 2 weeks. And so 32 cases is far outside that standard for the county, a county of about 2 million people. And so we can see that this number of cases is high. It's also much higher, almost double what we were seeing last week. Now this is expected because we did just do a certain amount of relaxation. My concern, and I think the concern of public health, is that people may have misinterpreted the minor bit of flexibility that was given. And so we're still operating under the same rules, okay? We are now still trying to beat this virus back. We are now in this situation where it's sunny outside and we'd all like to get together with our friends and we'd like to commingle, but that may not quite be the best answer yet, okay? The data is seeming to indicate that it's pretty easy to double our number of new cases in less than a week. And so I want to remind everybody that we do need to remain cautious. So our current order is written through May 31st. With the numbers that we're seeing in the new state guidance, there is every reason to believe that that order will be extended beyond May 31st. There'll probably be some more adjustments as the county learns more. So this is the county dashboard. This is one of the slides. There's a wealth of information here. And if you want to see this website, we got another page for that. So you can go to the Santa Clara County Government.org site, seccgov.org, and then coronavirus. Or you go to the main site, their banner takes you to this pretty quickly as well. And you'll see the dashboard. So in terms of local data, everybody wants to know how we're doing in Saratoga. And for those who follow along, it was an unfortunate week. We picked up 3 more cases since we last talked on Wednesday, bringing our total of confirmed cases to 17. This data can be found on that county dashboard as well. No, they're not telling us neighborhoods. We don't have dates. We don't have addresses. We don't have any information, just a raw number of 17 within our community. Our percentage, unfortunately, has gotten worse than Cupertino and us cities that like to compete. That was sad. It's sad if anybody gets it. They're not reporting city by city death information or anything like that. But picking up 3 people in the last 5 days is unfortunate. And so, again, I want to remind everybody that we need to be safe when we're going outside. So the rules, the way they stand right now, is if you're in any business, you need to be wearing a mask. If you're working in the business or visiting the business, you need to be wearing a mask. If you're exercising, you don't need to wear a mask. Now, what about everything in between? So I just remind everybody, this virus is transmitted by direct contact, by touching surfaces where other people have spread the disease, and by airborne. That's a big vector for transmission. And the masks that we have, again, I have my favorite masks that my daughter has sewn me. These are not N95 masks. These are not the most protective masks. However, if I'm a carrier, this mask will block a lot of what's coming out of me and prevent it from spreading in such a large bubble around me. So they are recommending a 2-meter, 6-foot spacing between people. But I gotta just say, that is a minimum, right? Saying, oh, I'm 6 feet, so I'm safe is not a correct way to think about it. I'm 6 feet and I am more safe. You know, I am safer than if I was 3 feet, but I'm not. It's not the barrier that's infinite. It doesn't guarantee anything. So we ask people to avoid unnecessary contact. We ask people to avoid unnecessary spacing or grouping and crowding. We ask people to wear masks. If you go to the store, it's preferable that only one person from a family shop. 2 reasons. It keeps fewer people in the stores, and it means there's only one person who has to come home and scrub down when they get home. So overall, here's the best news I have seen. Santa Clara County turns out to be one of the best counties west of the Mississippi. And there's a website that you may not have heard of. I'm not going to put up the URL, so if you want this, covidactnow.org. covidactnow.org. It has a dashboard for every state in the United States, and it goes all the way down to the county level, and it measures 3 factors. And by those 3 factors, Santa Clara County is the best county in California with more than 200,000 people. That's good. We're doing our part, but we got to keep it up. Just because the order changed slightly doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. Okay. Other things that are going on right now, there are a lot of telemarketing and email scams going on. I've seen studies that these are up by 300% since the virus started. And first, I want to remind everybody, while you may not feel that comfortable being outside, please gather your mail daily. Do not leave your mail in the mailbox overnight. And be very suspicious of email scams. I have on good authority, Apple is not going to call you on the phone. The IRS is not going to email you and want iTunes cards to pay for your back taxes. And these scams are going on and people are falling for them. So they've changed some stuff nationally, and I have hopefully a slide for this. Yeah, everybody is eligible for a credit report. But what's neat is we've all known that we could get a free annual credit report, but they've changed the system. You can now get a credit report for free weekly. And so if you're home, you're bored, and you can't watch any more episodes of Friends on Netflix, take a few minutes. Go to annualcreditreport.com. There's a button right in the middle. They explain the new system. Click that button, and you can get a free credit report. And you can do it every week. So with a lot of the scams that are going on, I highly encourage people to check their credit report for accuracy. You don't want to see new accounts or anything that have been opened up in the last several months, okay? Well, unless, of course, you open the account. And then the other scam that's going on, every single American actually has predefined an account on the Social Security Administration website. And most of us, you know, Social Security is many years off, and so we hadn't really thought about it. But one of the scams is people are finding ways to go on with publicly available personal information about you, and they're somehow able to enable your account to their email. So if you have never set this up, you should go to the Social Security Administration and set up your Social Security online account. You can lock it up super tight, but you should claim it just to avoid that particular scam. So that website is SSA, Social Security Administration.gov, ssa.gov/myaccount. And if you've never set up your account, you can go in there and set that up. So again, I really want to remind everybody, there are those that are taking advantage of the current situation, and I don't want any citizens to become prey to that. So be mindful and be dubious and be cautious when you are contacted by somebody claiming that you've got some financial problem or claiming that they're going to do something or help you with something, okay? Make sure you know who you're calling. If you do get called from your bank or you do get called from Apple or Microsoft or whoever, you can always hang up on that person, then go look up on your own independently, not from them, independently look up the phone number of whoever contacted you and call them back, okay? Credit cards all have phone numbers on the bank. All your bank statements have phone numbers. And Apple and Google and Microsoft, they have support phone numbers that can be found online. They don't call you, you call them. Okay, so enough on that. Stay safe, Saratoga. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the city. And for that, let's bring James Lindsay in.
Good morning, Howard.
Good morning. So here we are with James. So a couple of things have been going on, James. The first one I want to talk about, which I have an update from Saturday, so I will do it myself. Graduation parades are disallowed specifically under the order. However, everybody in the Valley wants to do a graduation. And so I gotta say, first, never call it a parade, call it a drive-through graduation. The county has found a way for drive-through graduations to occur. The process is a little bit more elaborate than just the Parent-Teacher Association setting up a drive-through graduation. Your school board has to approve it as a necessity. And the county health office has said all school boards have this authority. So there is a process by which they can set this up. If you go to the county website in their FAQ, there's a section called Guidance for Graduation. And you will find a whole list. There's like 14 different rules that must be conformed to. But under those rules, with the blessing of your school board, there is a way for you to do a drive-through graduation celebration. So I know a lot of citizens were very concerned about that. And I had just assumed it was a Saratoga thing. Well, it turns out pretty much every mayor in the city, in the county, has been hit with that exact question. And the county health department issued more specific guidance, but they put a lot of responsibility on the school board. One thing I should mention, just so everybody knows, in a health situation like we are, the health director has total say on what's going on. There are no laws that we could pass in Saratoga that would make us less strict than what's come down from the county health directive, okay? And so if there are concerns, I do like to hear from citizens, but I want everybody to understand that we're all living under the same rules. And even as the mayor of your city and even our entire council together, we cannot make our city less restrictive than what comes from the county health department. James, in our city, so the new order went into effect. We're a week into it. What sorts of businesses and activities are now allowed?
Well, we were very happy to be able to start restoring some of our community development services to the community. And hopefully everyone is aware now that if you have a project that you're doing at your home, that project can continue. If you have any ideas that you want to run by any of our city staff related to permit questions, zoning questions, please do reach out to us. We are available, preferably over the phone or email is our preferred method. However, if there are situations that require in-person appointments, we have been able to set those up on a case-by-case basis. So we are available in person by appointment as needed. And all construction activity has been allowed under the new county order. So we're very, very happy to make some progress in that space and for folks to continue on with their projects.
So indoor and outdoor projects, right?
Absolutely, indoor and outdoor projects. In fact, we were able to get some city projects underway with these new orders. We had some improvements to the senior center we were holding off, and we were really, really happy to get that crew working and getting that project underway so that when the senior center does reopen, those improvements are ready for them.
Okay, and your contractor has to your contractor has new rules, right? They're required to have cleaning stations and respect social distancing and everything, right?
Correct. So if you go to the city's webpage, and our launching page for all of this different information is COVID-19. So our COVID-19 page here in the city of Saratoga can take you to different resources, including planning and building departments. And within those pages, you can find the restrictions and safety requirements that are required for a construction site. Those are all also available as appendixes to the order on the county health website as well.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of recreation, the recreation center is still shut down, but all of our parks and everything, what is our status there?
Yeah, parks remain open. Please come outside, enjoy the sunshine. And restrooms are open in our parks. Parking lots are open. The new order allowed us to open up the tennis courts as well. Everyone is reminded to maintain the social distancing. So preferably playing with your members of your own household. And again, folks are encouraged to come and take advantage of the open space, bring their recreation equipment, their own recreation equipment. And all of our trails are open as well. So come and enjoy the outdoors.
And the parking lots.
And the parking lots.
The parking lots. Yeah, I know. I always mention parking lots because I know for the beaches, they closed the parking lots. But in our city, those things are all open, which is really good. Okay, so we had a slide that had the city resources. Let's see if we can find that slide. All right, so these are some of the excellent resources that are available within our city. Let me start from the bottom. The Chamber of Commerce. There's many businesses within our city that are not open for walk-in business. Think all the fine restaurants and shops that we have downtown. But they are able to do delivery or curbside pickup. And how would you know which ones are open? How would you know where your favorite business is, whether your favorite restaurant is open and what hours? So our Chamber of Commerce has produced a pretty comprehensive site. Plus they have daily and weekly specials from some of these sites. So visit the Saratoga Chamber of Commerce and, I would say shop local, but I don't want you to go down there and shop, but I would like you to figure out how to order food from our local restaurants. If we don't support our local businesses through this shutdown, they won't be there when we get out of the shutdown. So if we all have a favorite restaurant, we should all try to get food from that restaurant, okay? They have delivery services and curbside pickup for many of them. So go through the chamber website. Working in reverse order, we had them on in a previous show, West Valley Community Services. This organization serves the needy within our community. What's really interesting is the list has gotten a lot bigger. There are some people who are out of work, who are not eligible for unemployment. They were a sole proprietorship, they were an artist, they were a sole proprietorship accountancy or investor, or a lot of different places where you don't get unemployment. And there are people who have food and housing insecurity. And so West Valley Community Services operates on the west side of Santa Clara Valley, serving our city out through Los Gatos, back in through Cupertino and some of the surrounding areas. So they provide food pantry, they provide rental assistance and a myriad of other resources. And I gotta say the need right now is exceptionally high, and they're in a position, they're not taking on many volunteers right now, but they are very grateful for any donations that they could receive. And then the last organization, also back here in Saratoga, is our Saratoga Area Senior Coordinating Council, SASE. Think Senior Center. They are operating some online programs. They're still operating their RIDE program, which can help get people to needed medical appointments and stuff like that. They're also, they've organized food delivery, and they are working with the state of California and our regional effort for what they're calling Great Platter, where restaurants will repurpose and create meals for seniors. And this is a state authorized program that everybody's working to try and get up and running as soon as possible. And that'll get organized through our senior center. Anyway, all 3 websites are listed here. If you need any additional information, please, or you want to help, please go to their websites. Again, shop local. Again, there are those in need within our community. And again, our seniors are the pride and joy of our city. And there are a lot of things going on to support our seniors through these trying times. Okay, so that was what I had of general news. Today's program, if we go to the next slide, today we're going to talk about fire. And I know everybody's going, wait a minute, we're in the middle of this virus. What's up with the fire? Well, I gotta say, the fire never heard that we were in a pandemic, and it didn't decide to take the season off. And so our fire department is, as always, with us, active, and they have our back for all sorts of emergencies. And so today I'm happy that we have Chief Bowden with us. Tony, hi, good to see you.
Good morning, Mayor Howard.
Hey, so I gotta ask, we'll just jump right into it. Everybody's worried about this virus, but you guys are 100% on. The stations are staffed and you guys are still rolling engines and responding to emergencies in our city.
That's right. You may not see us as often as you normally would, but we are there to answer the call whenever it comes in, fully staffed.
Okay. In our city, there are occasionally fires, but the majority of your calls are more medical calls. Is that still true?
That's still true.
Okay. And so if a citizen sees a fire or has a fire, they should call 911.
Absolutely.
And if they have a medical emergency, they should call 911.
Yes, absolutely.
And you guys are going to still show up with probably even more promptly, considering there's no traffic on the roads, but you're going to show up at their door, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so it is 100% service as usual. People are still going to see you right away if there's any problem.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. But there is a virus going on. So tell me, what are you guys doing different in a world with the COVID-19 virus?
Well, I think just like the rest of our citizens, we ask our staff, they wear either a surgical mask or a cloth mask, regardless of whether they're on a call or not. They wear them all the time. They maintain distancing within the stations as best as possible. But you may see them show up at your house with a mask and eye protection and even a gown on to make sure that they're fully protected, to protect both the patient and themselves.
So if I have COVID-19, can I still call for help?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, not only do we say call and call early if you need help, but let the dispatcher know that you have symptoms, and that means our firefighters can make sure they have the right protection for themselves and for you as the patient as well.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not 100% sure if you know this sort of data, but is it chest pains that are the most likely thing that would cause a call, or is it somebody fell off the ladder, or they cut their arm? I mean, or is it all of the above?
It's all of the above. You know, any type of medical complaint, and that ranges from, you know, flu-like symptoms to chest pain to, you know, other medical complaints. You know, we still have kids riding bikes and sometimes they fall and break an arm or an auto accident. So we're prepared to respond to all of them.
Okay, and all of your rigs are run with paramedics, I assume.
Yes, I'm really proud to say that we have a paramedic on every single piece of equipment that responds to our citizens' house.
All right, so not only fire emergencies, any medical emergencies, you guys are good to go even in this time.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Is there anything else? You know, I worry about our first responders. I know our citizens do. I don't even know how to say it. Are you guys getting sick from this?
We are so blessed. County Fire geared up really early, it put protective measures in right off the bat. And so far, knock on wood, our staff has been healthy, and we've had no staff member that has tested positive for COVID-19. And we have had some just proactively tested because they were potentially exposed. But so far, we're all healthy, we're all ready to respond, and we hope to keep it that way.
Okay, excellent. So May is a beautiful month. The weather is gorgeous. We got enough rain to put some water in some reservoirs, but unfortunately enough rain to make a lot of brush and vegetation go. And so this is normally the time where we are out working to make sure everybody deals with weed and brush. We want everybody to have a defensible space around their house. What kind of advice do you have for us, Tony?
Well, what I would just remind people is we did get a little bit of rain, but it is still below average. And what it did was we have a bumper grass crop this year, lots of grass, tall grass. I was out in it, maybe about 30 inches tall grass. And that fuel dries out very quickly and lends to early fire seasons. So with that in mind, I would encourage everyone to go to County Fire's website and look at the RSG or Ready, Set, Go program that really will provide the specifics about what you can do to clear grass and brush around your house and maintain that protective space around your house should a fire occur, because we are anticipating a higher than normal fire season again this year.
Okay. We can all have our gardeners back, and we can get landscape contractors and stuff now. There's no issue with that under the order. However, it turns out that for fire prevention, that has always been allowed. That's always been considered an essential service. So if you have weeds or brush, we need to get those cleared and cleared right away. What other things can our citizens be doing to prepare for fire season?
I think, we talk about how you prepare your home, or what we call harden your home. And we talk about that quite a bit. But I think it's also important, especially for our senior community members, to make sure you have a plan, to really think about what you would do or how you would be prepared to leave if you had to. Last year, we saw, I think, 2 red flag warnings come through Santa Clara County. And during a red flag warning, you should have that plan ready to go, have some things packed. And if you live in a very high hazard area, up in the hills, up in the mountains, it may be a good time to, spend some time at the beach or
Well,
take a little break if you can.
yeah. Well, we may not be sending as many people to the beach. We are expecting the power shutoffs again this season, are we not?
Yes, and they coincide with weather, and we look at fuel, weather conditions, and they put that together. And typically in Santa Clara County, you start seeing those conditions for red flag events into end of July, August is when you start seeing those as the brush and the heavier fuel starts to really cure out and dry. That's when you start seeing those events. But today's the day to start preparing for those events. Make sure you've got your medication, make sure that you have multiple escape routes planned if you live up in the urban interface areas, and really make sure your contact lists are up for not only yourself, but your immediate friends and family members.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fire has a season, but it doesn't care what else is going on in our lives or the world. It's going to do what it's going to do. You guys have gotten some new equipment recently. Are you guys better geared up this year?
Absolutely. We have the largest wildland firefighting equipment pool of any local government agency within the county of Santa Clara. And that includes in Saratoga. We have multiple wildland fire specific firefighting apparatus specifically located in Saratoga because of the surrounding urban interface areas. So we are prepared.
Yeah, we got a lot of small windy streets in the hills, and you guys got rigs that can navigate all that as well, right?
You bet. You bet we do.
Okay, so as a citizen, what's our number one thing we need to do to help you guys keep fire out of our city?
Well, the number one thing that you can do is maintain that defensible space around your property. And remember, think back to how many news events or video clips you've seen of big fires go through, and you see that one or two houses that were untouched by fire. It's a strong visual. That is what happens when you have good property hygiene. When you clear that out, and it's a compounding effect when you can get your neighbors and then neighborhoods and then larger areas to all jump in and make sure that their houses and properties are clear and maintained. It has a huge impact on how a fire will spread. And it is by far the number one thing that our citizens can do to help us.
Excellent, excellent. So just so everybody knows, in the city, if you have a dead tree, there's no permit fee to take that out. You take a picture of the tree, you send it in, and they'll give you a permit. You don't have to come to City Hall. So let's get that dead trees out. Let's get the brush and the grass. Let's get all of the fuel load out of our yards. Let's make ourselves harder. The harder's not a harder is what you say. It doesn't sound friendly, but let's make ourselves immune to fire as best we can. If that means hardening, then space hardening it is, Tony. I'm with it. And then I got to just say, you know, we're pretty much running out of time, but Tony, I want to say on behalf of the citizens of Saratoga, I want to thank you and all the men and women in the force that they're on for us 24 hours a day. Virus or no virus, fire season or not, you guys have always been there, and I am so grateful to hear that nobody has contracted the virus. Again, knock on wood. You guys put your lives on the line so that we can be safer, and I really want to send my heartfelt regard to everybody in your entire organization for all that they're doing to keep us safe. So Tony, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And you know, for everybody watching, we are your fire department, and we're here to serve you. So don't ever hesitate to call. We are absolutely here for you.
Excellent. And on those words, I think we have a slide that has contact information, Tony. So
yeah, right there.
If you have an emergency, please call 911. Okay, cell phone or landline, it doesn't matter. The dispatcher will take you through the process. And if you want to know more about fire safety, about the Ready, Set, Go program that Tony talked about, here's their website, SCCFD, Santa Clara County Fire District .org, sccfd.org, and that will give you a wealth of information. So Tony, thank you for being with us today. So with that, I think this concludes our program. I want to remind everybody that we still are in a shelter situation. Not everything is running the way it's always run. The city has set up a resource website. So here, go to the city website, saratoga.ca.us/resource, and you will find links to fire, links to the chamber, links to all of the stuff that we have mentioned briefly today. And it's got a wealth of information. And I put back up the 3 organizations that are most directly involved in serving within our city. Please visit a local business. And I mean that virtually. Order your food online and grab and go or get it delivered. Please look at what you could do to help out in West Valley Community Services. They are in need of our support. And then our seniors are supported by our senior organization. Please check out their website. Okay, so that's what we have for today. We will be back on Wednesday. Tell your friends, 9 a.m. live, and then we are rebroadcast on KSAR on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, I believe at 8 o'clock. So that is our program today. Thank you for joining us.